Hey guys, welcome to a brand new Rushdown review. I am going to be reviewing the remastered version of The Last Remnant for PlayStation 4. I originally played this on 360. I really enjoyed it, despite the fact that it was very flawed. Like, there was a lot wrong with the 360 version. And I actually didn't finish it because I had some other games I was playing at the time and I couldn't finish Last Remnant. But I had really liked it the first time I played it. I like it a lot more now that they've addressed a lot of the issues the game had originally. I was so upset when they decided not to release the PS3 version, because I remember at the time when 360 had came out, there was like this competition between Sony and Xbox, and Xbox was definitely grabbing a lot of like timed exclusives. As far as like JRPGs are concerned, they had this, they had Star Ocean, they had Tales of Vesperia. So they had a lot of games that they just had before PlayStation could never get a hold of them, and some of them just never even got here. And Last Remnant was one of those games they just kind of like, I guess they just canceled the PS3 version, and then that was it. They released it on Windows eventually, and a lot of modders kind of like tweaked a lot of stuff in the game. They kind of fixed a lot of the issues themselves. Until recently, Square Enix decided, like, well, we're going to pull this from the store shelves. They just took it off of Steam. I was like, what am I going to do now? I want to play this. And yeah, they finally remastered it completely. And I have to say that this remaster is probably one of my favorite remasters I've played in a long time. I feel like the original was such a great concept and a really good game at its core. There was just a lot of problems that made it not so great to play for a lot of other people. So I'm glad they addressed a lot of stuff in the remaster. So let's just get to the review. So start with the story. So you play as the main protagonist. His name is Rush Sykes, and he is a, I guess, adventurer slash, like, he doesn't really do much in the beginning. Like, he's just some kid who stumbles upon, well, actually he's looking for his sister. That's like his main motivation in this whole game. His parents are researchers. They research these things called remnants, and the remnants like these really great, cool, magical artifacts that do all these random things pretty much. Like, each remnant has its own particular like thing it does. And then certain remnants are like really big. They do like these crazy things, and some are like really tiny and small. So his parents actually research them and figure out like what they do and stuff like that. And Rush is on a quest to find his sister, and she's been taken and by the baddies, and he ends up joining this brigade of, I guess, general slash, I forgot what the character's title is. David. I think he's a lord, pretty much. Well, he's a lord, and he's with his vassals, and you pretty much, join with them to stop this dude. I think he's called the Conqueror or something. I forgot what his real name was. The main antagonist of the game. And he's like going around like taking remnants and destroying them and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's pretty much the general story. Like, there's not a whole lot of story. It's a little shallow in the story department. I did enjoy the way the characters interact with each other throughout the whole game. I think the voice acting is really spot on. This is actually one of the better voice acted games for that time period. A lot of games in like 2006 and 7 weren't having that great of voice acting. So I'm really grateful that the voice acting actually really aged really well too. Like, a lot of characters like Emma, her voice acting is really good. Of course, Rush is good because that's Johnny Young Bosch. I mean, he can do no wrong when it comes to voice acting. So I think the characters are pretty well thought out. They have their own depth to them. They are very unique too. I think the story it's okay. Nothing like crazy, like change. It's not life changing, but it is very like well put together in that respect. So let's shift gears to, I guess, the most important thing is the gameplay and the changes they made to this remastered version. So let's start with the combat. Now, the combat in this game is very challenging because they don't explain things enough. I feel like this game doesn't do a great job with tutorials as far as like really getting you into understanding how the mechanics work. There's so many concepts and stuff that you learn, like your unions and how to create a good union. And I could say this game is very, very close to games like, I think Suikoden 3 would be a good one. We kind of have like that partner system thing going on. I think that's a close one. maybe Udra Union's another game that's kind of similar to this, where you're fighting as a unit more so than just an individual character. And you have to understand how the union system works in order to really be successful in this game. Basically, a union is just a allotment of characters that you put together into one particular section, and they become a union. And your unions have to be created through different means. Like, you have to have characters to do different stuff, but you're able to do a lot of them. You do a lot with them later on in the game. You unlock more unions, unlock more stuff, and all that good stuff. But in the beginning, you don't really get that much stuff, so you're kind of locked to having only specific. I think in this remastered version, they allow you to use any character can be a leader of a union, which before you couldn't, so that sucked. But within combat, it's pretty much turn-based-ish, but it's not quite turn-based-ish. It's really hard to explain the combat. I mean, you do take turns per se, but the way you do take turns is kind of like judged by, I think, other things. Not just like, okay, your turn, my turn, your turn. It's kind of like you have specific criteria and stuff in order to make the turns go by. And I think one of the things about this game that made it really difficult to play is that you have to understand that this game is a little random in certain parts, because you know how most games you have to choose your attacks and you know what's going to happen next. This game is very much so built on a lot of like luck and a lot of like certain like conditions have to be met in order to get certain attacks to be able to use. And it can get a little frustrating at first because you don't understand how exactly am I going to get attacked or how I'm going to be able to heal. Like, you have to allow the fight to progress in order to let certain things happen. Like, I mean, you can't just start off the bat, okay, I want to heal. Like, you have to get a certain like amount, I think certain amount of like your actual HP have to be taken away for you to actually be able to heal your party. Like, a lot of the stuff is generated through different conditions, and it's really challenging because those conditions aren't necessarily like scripted out for you to know, so you kind of just have to like wing it a lot of times. It's like, okay, maybe this turn they'll have an option to heal. It would be really cool if they did, and usually it happens. You do fight as a unit, so all of your teammates fight together, and I think some of your teammates can die, but you can still fight on even if some people in your union die. But the one good thing about this is that you do kill off the main person of a union. You do just kill the entire union as a whole, which is great for boss fights because some of the boss fights in the game are really tough and really unfair. Like, this is one boss fight at the end of, well, it was the end of disc 1, because I was playing on 360, of course, and it's like the last boss fight. It is super hard, and you will know when you're fighting this boss because it is crazy hard. It's really hard. It's like, oh my god, why is this so hard? Like, I spent like maybe 8 or 9 tries trying to get that boss, and it's like, it's really hard to understand how you're leveling up again. They have a level up system somewhat. It's very similar to Chrono Cross. If you've played that, then you know, like, every time you get a level, quote unquote, you really don't get levels, you get like stats up. So like, as you progress, like, oh, you got, you know, your HP increased by this much, or your defense increase, or your stamina increase. So you get those small incremental like things to your stats that increase, and then you get this like party, I think it's a party level, and that goes up too. But it's really hard to say if that really has a big bearing over like the gameplay. So this game is definitely not for people who need strict, like, spelled out rules and stuff. Like, it's definitely people who kind of like, okay, I'll give it a chance, pretty much. Let me think about the gameplay. Okay, the actual core battle is, you do take turns to a degree. You have these things called, it's basically like you're actually at war. And there's things like the flanking, and then there's the deadlock, which is when 2 unions go together head to head and they attack each other. And if you're already in a deadlock, you get flanked by someone if they decide to attack you from the side where you're already deadlocked. Then you have interception, which if someone's coming from the other side and they stop someone from trying to like deadlock someone else or flank them. And then there's raid lock, where you get hit from behind. It's so much of that stuff, and a lot of that stuff helps when you're taking damage. A lot of stuff helps when you're trying to like take more damage from your opponent. But if you get like raid locked from someone else, like, you take more damage yourself, so that sucks. There's so many like aspects of the game that's like really cool. I think that they were trying to go for something a little bit more organic as far as like the gameplay. They didn't want it to be so, okay, at this level you get this, and then you do this, and you do this, and you just get to a point where you're like, every battle just continuously be the same after a while. This feels a little bit more like, oh, okay, well, every battle won't be the same, but you don't know what's going to happen every battle. But I think it's a cool idea because when you're actually in war, it feels realistic. But I think that for a JRPG, it takes away from the combat because you're left to wonder what's going to happen. Like, am I going to get a heal this time, or am I not going to get a heal? Like, it's really random a lot of times. And it's kind of frustrating. And I wish it was a little bit better done for the tutorial to really get you into it. I think a couple of the tweaks they did for this, the frame rate has been completely like, oh my god, it runs so good. I'm so glad because it was running like crap before. They added a feature to speed up the battles because the battles were so sluggish. Like, they would be like, it was just so long. And I'm glad they have a speed up button. They have another button, I think, when we actually, I think we have a run button now, which is great because oh god, Rush cannot really. He walked pretty fast, but it's like to actually run, like you actually now have a real, like, genuine run, and now you can get away from enemies a lot quicker. There's a few little tweaks here and there, but a lot of them are like stuff that don't really. They're not things that are really going to be super game-changing, especially for a lot of people who haven't even played the game before, so they're not going to even notice a lot of these changes. But one of the main things I think that people will definitely notice is the graphical upgrade. The game looks really pretty. I think it would look like, I guess I would say it looks like a very, 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 like, early PS4 game, maybe late PS3 game. Which isn't bad. I think for Remastered, I think it's one of the better looking remastered games I've seen. I feel like I can noticeably tell that it's been remastered because, boy oh boy, that 360 version was really rough. Let's see. We'll talk about combat. I want to go over some more things about the combat because there's like so much to talk about with that. There's just like a lot of things about the combat that is really unknown to you in the beginning, and it's really tough. Like, this game is not for the faint of heart. It's really difficult. So if you're not for someone who, if you're someone who needs specifics about everything, you need like everything to be mapped out for you, everything spelled out for you, this is not the game for you. This is definitely a game for people who want to take chances and risk it all. So yeah. Music is really good, I think. I like some of the music score. This game is done well. Nothing really too stands out to me that much. The audio is pretty good. The audio is actually really good. So I remember in battle, I can really hear like my sword cutting through somebody's flesh, and it's really graphic. And it's like you can really hear it. You hear the clanking of the like swords and stuff. Like, yeah, the sound design, epic. Like, they did a really good job of sound. I thought they actually put a lot of effort to the sound design for this game. So I think that sound design, gameplay. Oh yeah, so you kind of like point and click to go places. There's no real world map, so if you're looking for a world map, this is not the game that has a world map. It's point and click to go places. Traversing the different areas is good. A lot of the dungeons, there's nothing special about the dungeons too much. They're like regular like JRPG dungeons, so it's nothing like too stand out for you. The art direction for this game it's pretty good. It really does feel like a mid 2000s RPG. Like, this is quintessential mid-2000s Square Enix RPG. So if that helps anyone, that definitely is a good way to explain this game. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on this game. I've definitely enjoyed it. I think the remaster is really well done. I think they really fixed a lot of the issues it had, and I think that this will actually be a great title for someone who's doing something different. This is definitely something for someone who's been adventurous and different and daring and want to try something new. So, yeah. Alright, thanks for watching my review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next video.